They are a vulnerable population and often the most neglected. On any given day in the U.S., more than 500,000 people are homeless, according to government data. About 1,000 of them can be found in Miami. For those living on the streets, it's already a challenge to follow healthy sanitary practices, and even more so now during the COVID-19 outbreak. Most public places like libraries are closed, and community centers are restricting access.
We are currently shut down to our outside guests, which we usually feed on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. But in an effort, we have continued to feed them, but not the normal hot meal that they usually receive. They're receiving a bag lunch. We've set up porta potties for them outside, not to just keep them away, but to make sure that we can make it as human as possible.
The Miami-Dade Homeless Trust, a local advocacy organization, says at least 2 homeless clients and 3 of its workers are in self-quarantine after being exposed to the virus.
We ban anything and everything that's negative presence in the Miami Rescue Mission Party.
At the Miami Rescue Mission, they're doing what they can to keep the hundreds they serve safe. They're practicing social distancing, dividing diners at mealtime, but resources are scarce.
Donations are down. Things are not happening the way they're supposed to. There's a shortage here of masks and things like that that we need, not for us to wear, but if there's somebody that's coughing, we could give it to them.
Justice Sanchez was hoping to soon leave this homeless shelter behind. He attends college on a government grant. His life, like the rest of the nation's, is on hold.
We're just having to take more precautions in regards to, making sure we wash our hands. We try to not go out to big, groups of people. And when it comes to, the uninsured thing, sometimes it is scary, because you're like, what if I get it? How do I get tested?
Emergency legislation signed by President Trump assures all coronavirus testing, even for the uninsured, will be free. But that information is not well understood here. And while the coronavirus test would be covered by the government, full treatment expenses could haunt him later. The real fear for many of these men is being ordered to self-quarantine.
We'll be following the guidelines of calling 911 and alerting them that there's somebody here that with possible symptoms and taking those steps. If they put them back to quarantine here, we cannot do that because we would hurt the rest of the people that are here.
A COVID-19 diagnosis for them means eviction from the only shelter they have, and in turn increases exposure chances to a wider population. Nitza, Soledad, Perez, CGTN, Miami.